The air tastes of ash and triumph, a bitter meal. Kale stands over the body, the haft of his flint tipped spear still slick. The dead man is not like him. Shorter, thicker in the bone, with a heavy brow that hoods his vacant eyes even in death. This is the last of the Hominid neanderthalensis who dared claim the southern pass. Kale's clan, the tall ones, the clever ones, now own the river bend in the flints, seam that runs through its cliffs, victory. Yet, the quiet that follows the screams is a hungry thing. His warriors move through the smashed shelters of their defeated rivals, a brutal but necessary form of archaeology in this unforgiving chapter of hominid history. They are not searching for knowledge but for anything that can be eaten, worn, or used to kill. This is the stark reality of prehistoric life. Lyra moves against the current of her kin. Her hands, stained with the medicinal red of ochre, are not made for looting. She is the clan's healer, the keeper of poultices and whispered chants, the one who bargains with the spirits that inhabit the flesh. She passes Kale, who watches her with an unreadable expression. He does not stop her. Her work is also essential to their survival skills. Its hide roofed on open to the pale, unforgiving sky. Inside, the embers of a dead hearth or a grey wound. It is there, huddled behind a pile of mouldering furs, that she finds the prize of this war. A child, no more than 5 winters old, with the same heavy brow and deep-set eyes as the dead warrior outside. It does not cry. It only watches her, the cornered animal awaiting the final blow. A shallow gash runs along its forearm, weeping blood sluggishly. Kale's shadow fills the shelter entrance. What is it? His voice is flat, the voice of a man who has made 100 calculations for survival since the sun rose. A child, Lyra says, her voice quiet. She does not look up from the boy. There's, leave it. The command is not cruel, it is practical. It is one less mouth. It is a ghost that will not haunt their trail. The clan has its own young to feed, its own future to secure. This is how ancient humans endure. Lyra does not move. She slowly extends a hand, palm open, toward the child. He flinches but does not run. There is nowhere left to run. His wound needs cleaning. The wolves will clean it, Kale states, stepping fully inside. He is a mountain of sinew and righteous certainty. He will grow to hate us. He will remember this day. You are bringing a viper to our hearth. This is the moment, the hard choice. A line drawn in the ash. Lyra looks up, her gaze meeting the war chief's. Then I will draw its fangs. She reaches out and gently, deliberately, touches the boy's shoulder. The contact is electric, an act of defiance more potent than any shouted word. Outside, the clan grows quiet, watching, sensing the tremor in their bedrock. Kale's jaw tightens. He sees not a healer in the child, but a foolish woman endangering the very soul of their people. But he also sees the clan watching him. To force her now would be to break something vital in their unity. He gives a sharp, guttural grunt. It is your burden. Your mouth will feed it. Your fire will warm it. When it turns on you, your blood will be the price. He turns and is gone, leaving Lyra alone in the ruin with the enemy child, the silence of her in a far heavier weight than the war chief's threat. Lyra names him Oak for the squat, unyielding strength in his small frame. The journey back to their home cave is a silent trial. The clan walks ahead, a river of bodies that parts around her and the child, leaving them in an eddy of isolation. Oak does not complain, his bare feet tough against the cold stone, his eyes absorbing the landscape with an unnerving, adult stillness. He is a stone cast into the clan's pool, and the ripples of his presence spread wider with every step. The center of their world, the division becomes a physical reality. Families pull their children closer. Hunters sharpen their spears and watch him from the corners of their eyes. He is the living embodiment of a war they have just won, a reminder that victory is never clean. This is the slow, grinding process of human evolution, not a glorious march but a series of painful accommodations. As his arm heals, Oak's southernness becomes more pronounced. He remains silent, not with the shyness of a lost child, but with a deep, contained watchfulness. He learns by seeing, his mimicry perfect but without warmth. He is stronger than the clan's own children, able to lift stones they can barely roll. Lyra notices the slight, telling bulge at the back of his skull, the occipital bone that marks him as different in his very architecture. The other children, in their cruel, simple way, try to taunt him, but their words find no purchase. He simply watches them, his gaze so steady, so ancient, that they soon retreat into the safety of their own kind. The true schism happens near the napping floor, where the men shape their elegant, long blades of flint. One afternoon, Oak picks up a discarded core rock. The clan's toolmaker, Old Fen, grunts a warning, but Lyra places a hand on his arm. They watch. Oak does not attempt to replicate their slender spear points. His hands, though small, move with an inherited certainty. He strikes the core with a heavy hammerstone, not to produce a long, sharp flake, but to shape the core itself, his focus absolute. The result is not a blade but a thick, disc-like tool with a wickedly sharp edge all around its circumference. It is a tool for butchering, for smashing bone, for a kind of close, brutal work their own hunters avoid. It is a piece of alien, Mousterian technology, born from a mind that solves problems differently. The silence that falls over the onlookers is thick with fear. This is not the fumbling of a child, it is the demonstration of a rival intelligence. Kale appears at Lyra's side, his voice a low growl meant only for her. You see, it is in his blood. His mind does not work like ours. He thinks with their hands, their tools. He is one of them. Kale's foresight is a weapon. He sees this small, crafted stone not as a tool but as a seed of a future where his people are once again fighting for the southern pass. Every piece of flint he shapes as a memory of his dead father. Every day you feed him, you are nursing a spear that will one day be aimed at our own children's hearts. Lyra looks from the war chief's hard face to the boy, who now tests the weight of the strange hand axe, oblivious. The hearth is divided. Kale has drawn his line, not with a spear, but with the cold, hard logic of survival. The late autumn air grows teeth. The clan's best hunters, led by Kale, track a herd of giant elk into a narrow ravine. Its high rock walls a natural trap. It is a perfect plan, one their human ancestors have used for generations. But the scent of blood is a summons. As the hunters close in on their quarry, a shadow detaches from the scree slope. It is immense, a male cave lion, a Panthera spelaea at its prime, drawn by the sounds of a panicked herd. The beast is a ripple of muslin, sun-bleached fur, its charge a silent explosion of purpose. The hunters scatter, their long spears suddenly feeling like twigs. Two men are cornered against the granite wall, Kale among them. The lion crouches, its tail twitching, a low growl vibrating the very air. Lyra and Oak had been gathering late-season berries on the ridge above, and they watched the scene unfold in frozen horror. Lyra's instinct is to pull Oak back, to hide him, to save the one life she can. But the boy is transfixed, his wide-set eyes locked on the predator below. He sees not just a monster, but a dynamic of power he understands on a primal level. The hunters are trapped. The hunters are trapped. Their weapons are useless against the charge that is about to come, a futile gesture against a tawny avalanche. Then a cry splits the air. It is not a human sound. It is not a scream of fear or a shout of warning. It comes from Oak's small chest, a shocking, impossibly deep roar that echoes off the ravine walls like thunder. It is a guttural, thoracic blast of sound, a resonant power born from the unique placement of his high-watt bone in the broad architecture of his chest. It is the voice of a different kind of hominid, a sound the lion has likely never heard from a creature so small. Its head snaps up toward the ridge, its predatory certainty shattered for a single vital heartbeat. It is confused, its attack momentarily forgotten. That heartbeat is all Kale needs. Now, he bellows, and the stunned inaction of his hunters breaks. They surge forward as one, 3 spears driving low into the lion's exposed flank as it turns its head. The beast roars in pain and fury, a sound almost matched by the echo of Oak's challenge from above. The fight is brutal and short. The lion is mighty, but the spears are now in the right place, driven by the desperate strength of men given an impossible chance. It collapses, its life pumping out onto the dusty floor of the ravine. Silence. The surviving hunters lean on their spears, chests heaving. They look at the dead lion, a creature that should have killed them all. Then their gazes turn upward. Kale follows their line of sight. He sees Lyra, her face pale with shock. And beside her, he sees the small, stocky child, the prize of a forgotten war. Kale looks at the boy, and for the first time, he does not see the ghost of an enemy. He sees the strange, unexpected shape of salvation. He raises his bloodied spear in a slow, deliberate salute. Across the silent ravine, a cry has just rewritten the laws of his world. This is how a soul changes. Not in the heat of a skirmish or the pride of a hunt, but in the quiet moment after a battle that should have been lost. The acceptance of the Neanderthal boy was not a simple act of mercy. It was the first, terrifying step toward a new kind of anthropology, a practical recognition that strength could lie in otherness. That day, in a forgotten ravine under a dying sun, the definition of us became larger, more complex, and infinitely more resilient. The clan learned that another's cry, born of a different throat, could save them from a monster their own voices could not deter. This tiny event, a footnote in the grand, brutal saga of human evolution, was a revolution. It was the understanding that the other was not just a threat to be eliminated or a resource to be consumed, but a potential ally whose very differences, their strange tools, their silent watchfulness, their shocking roar could become the key to a shared future. It was the moment our species began to learn that the circle of the hearth could be drawn wider, not just to offer warmth, but to borrow a fire from a different flame. How many of our greatest leaps forward were not born of invention, but of the simple, world-altering decision to listen?